I had time to relax.
السلام عليكم يا أستاذ.
Hi there.
Okay.
جواكت جلد بأسعار رخيصة.
Leather jackets, just like mine. That's the funniest thing. I remember when I went to Bodrum, Turkey. That was the big thing, was leather jackets everywhere. For, like, good prices, too. Oh, is this going to be another one of those fight clubs?
Keine Fremden erlaubt.
Yeah, I gotta get
Nazis only, I guess.
بيشتغل في
Yeah,
السفارة
gotta get
البريطانية في القاهرة.
yeah.
قال لي إن في حد كسب فلوس كتيرة عشان خلاهم يعيشوا في الجيزة الفقر.
Gotta get an outfit.
عامل إشاعة.
Okay.
ما شفتيش الكاس بتاع ستي؟ لا، ليه فيه؟ حطيته على الترابيزة لما كنت بحضره لضيوفنا اللي جايين من القاهرة. بعدت عنه شوية وببص عليه تاني لقيته اختفى. يا لهوي، لا يكون حد خده. أنا شفت القرد الحرامي.
Alright, I think we're good to head on out of town now. Ah, here's the signpost I was looking for. Perfect. Okay, we've got field work, secret of the Great Mother, sanctuary of the Guardians, medicine bottles. Let's start off with the thieves, maybe, or Sea of Eternity. All right, let's go to the worker area. Here's your sign. That's right, great. Dude, I remember one of my best examples of using that in real time was when I was still working construction and we were on a job site and there was the electricians were parked out front and they had a big logo on their truck. And I'm inside and we were doing floor prep for the entry to this big like rec area for this resort. And this guy comes in and he's like, "Hey, whose truck is parked out front?" And I literally, without even batting an eye, just turned around and went, "The electrician's truck. Here's your sign." And the guy just kind of looked at me for a minute, and then he did chuckle at it, because it was like, "It's the electrician's truck, dummy." Like, it literally says on the side of the truck. Oh, that was awesome. Blue Collar Comedy Tour was a lot of fun. Those guys, I think that was, out of all those guys, I think I ended up liking Ron
Kaifa
White the
Chalukan.
most. But Ron White is definitely like the less clean of all of them. Like, they're all pretty. Foxworthy's always been like PG-13. Larry the Cable Guy's kind of meh. Angball's pretty good, but I do like Ron White was always more my style.
Spilled paint and a trail of footprints.
Trail of footprints.
أهلا يا فندي.
نهارك سعيد.
I lost track of the footprints over here. Yeah. They go here, 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 and then they disappear. Oh, here's one. Points in this direction. There's another one. Oh, I see him. Right? Yeah, those are definitely footprints. Okay, what do we got here? Oh, somebody in a cave-in. I will prove him wrong.
And that's why you need to set up proper support beams. Amateurs.
True grit.
I'll give this a read.
Okay. Let's see here. Patch up. No, I'm gonna have to get some more points for that. I didn't know how many bounces we're gonna take. Quick Mass, but knew how they were gonna use. That's a handy bit of info to have. Ron White's great. He doesn't do too much these days. Most of it's just podcast, like uh, podcast sessions where he goes and does a guest spot on a podcast. But I appreciate the fact that out of all those guys from the Blue Collar Comedy Tour, he's actually like he's lived a little, probably lived a little too much. The alcohol was definitely a little excessive on the alcohol use, but at least it seems to have been curbed down in recent years. Let's go to the village. There's some ruins over here. Now they said something about wild dogs. I don't know if it's gonna be at this place. About to find out. Probably have to deal with these dogs. that back up. We don't necessarily need. Can't get past that door yet. Any predictions for Gamescom? Nah, I'm just along for the ride, man.
A canopic jar. This shouldn't be here.
I think I'm gonna have to go this way first. Hang on, I gotta. There we go. Oh, there was something.
Where does this go?
Oh, but that goes somewhere across the way too. There's definitely multiple canopic jars here.
This must fit somewhere.
I discovered the antechamber of a tomb. Didn't get very far, did you, though, buddy? Boop, doop, doo. I think the only thing I'm hoping I see from Gamescom, because I am just along for the ride. Like, I don't really care. I'm a fan of all games that
Has to
are going to
go
get announced,
somewhere.
probably. But I do secretly hope that we're going to get some sort of I don't know that we will, but some sort of Starfield announcement would be nice, because they have been radio silent all year on Starfield stuff, and I'm just like, come on, tell me when the next. Because I'm hoping what I've heard, the rumor is that Starfield's next DLC is going to launch with like a complete edition that's also going to launch onto the PS5, and I think that'll be really cool. I would also, it would be great if we got an announcement of a Fallout game, considering they're going into season 2 of the next Fallout. So like if they would announce like they just redid Obsidian. It would be really cool if or Oblivion, sorry. Obsidian. They just redid Oblivion. If they would redo New Vegas, Fallout New Vegas, if they just would pay a company to redo that, that would be cool. I don't really, I'm happy with all the games that are going to come out. So what I'm really interested to see is what do we have for next year, and anything that might surprise launch into November, December, because I don't have a lot going on in November, December yet. Oh, hey, the dogs are gone now. Oh, I forgot to open those sarcophagus. Dude, I'm an idiot. I was down in there, like, placing stuff, and then I started talking. I forgot what I was down there doing. Huh, I placed the 4 things. Did I miss something? Oh, they're different. My bad. They all have symbols. I have no idea what that is. That's a human.
Where do I put this?
That's the baboon. There we go.
There you are.
Now I can unlock. Okay. Those are the only mysteries I've uncovered yet. I gotta find a disguise to get into the Knuckle Duster Den. Only Nazi uniforms, which will be later. This one's relatively close. The doctor had to prescribe beer. I had an uncle who was a functioning alcoholic. I mean, it was bad. He was also like, he smoked so much. And because of him, I smoked when I was younger too. But I learned my lesson. I had congestive lung failure when I was 21, night of my 22nd birthday. So I quit smoking. But I remember he smoked until he died, and he died in his, he literally died because of alcohol poisoning in his sleep in his like early 60s. But I remember I stayed with him one summer when I was working on a project with him in Branson, Missouri, and he smoked so much. I'll never forget. I was sleeping on the couch, and he would wake up at like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and smoke a cigarette. Like his body would wake him up for a cigarette, and he would get up, he would smoke, and then we'd go back to bed, and we would go to work. But I mean, he was like bad. Like we would go to work, and it was such a juxtaposition because when I worked with my dad was very strict, straight edge. 30-minute lunch break. That's it. No, you can't be a minute over. And my uncle, his brother, was very much like, well, we're gonna take a 2-hour lunch break. Because he liked to go have a few beers at lunch. And so we would go to lunch. It was always, my dad was pack a lunch, take the lunch with you. You've got 30 minutes to scarf your sandwich, get back to work. My uncle was like, we're leaving the job site. We're going to go to a restaurant. We're going to have burgers, beers, maybe take a 30-minute nap in the van. And then we'll go back to work and we'll, work hard for another 4 hours. So it's work for 4 hours really hard, take a couple hour break, come back, work another 4 hours really hard. But he was like 3 packs a day, 4 packs a day. It was a lot, dude. He just never had. It was always a cigarette in the mouth. Marlboro and Marlboro Miles. He had so many Marlboro things like jackets and outdoor camping gear and all sorts of stuff because he just smoked so much that he would get those Marlboro Miles. But Yeah, I'll never forget the whole his body waking him up at 3 o'clock in the morning to have a cigarette. It was like, my goodness. This is the dig site. I need to find the fast travel. But yeah, it was every day when we get off the job site, he would take a cooler with us in the back of his van, and every day at the end of the day, he would hit the liquor store as soon as we got off the job site. And it was always like an hour and a half drive back, hour and a half, depending on traffic. And he would literally buy a 12 pack, 18 pack, whatever was on sale, stick it in a cooler with a thing of ice, and the whole drive home, he would drink whatever he could drink between the time we left the job site and got home. He would totally drink and drive. And then we'd get home and he would finish it. And then after he would finish that, he'd move on to dinner, and his evening drink was always vodka and grapefruit juice. And he would buy those big, like, 10 cans. I don't know if they sell them anymore, but he would go to like Sam's or Costco and buy this like 1 gallon or 2 gallon or something 10 can of grapefruit juice. And he would just every night 3-4 vodkas and grapefruit juices to go to bed. And it was just, that was it. Just all day, every day. Oh, I believe it, JK.
Medicine, the sick workers.
It's making me cough just thinking about it. Oh shit, those guys are still there. Where the heck am I gonna... There's the signpost. I don't know if you actually have to get to the signpost to unlock them, or if it's just uncover the location. He wouldn't drink all of those in the hour, but he would drink a few. I mean, he'd get 6 or 8 of them down on the drive home, and then the rest he would just finish when we got home. But it was just all day, every day. And he was not a nice man, and he was not missed when he passed. Like, no one knew he had passed. Like, when they found him, he'd been gone for like 2 weeks. Like, no one knew, because it was like no one cared. Which was it was a great reminder to all the cousins and everything that, you know, there's nothing glorious about being an alcoholic asshole that no one likes. Yeah, I remember the JK. My all of my great grandparents smoked like freight trains. So did my dad's parents as well. But I remember my great grandmother on my mom's side smoked so much. When she passed, I remember we had to go to the house that she had been living in, something like a year and a half after she'd been gone, to like help sell it or something. It's been a very long time ago. I don't remember all the details, but it'd been like a year and a half since she'd passed, and the house had been cleaned and aired out and everything else, and it was being put on the market, and the house still smelled like cigarettes, like a year and a half after no one had been in the house smoking, and it had been cleaned, aired out, and everything, and it still had that, like, it was just permeated in the walls. Um, like, I think the only thing you could do at that point is you literally just have to take everything. You have to rip all the drywall out and just redo it from the ground up, because you're not gonna get rid of that smell. Not when if you've smoked inside. Yeah, it's in there, man.